Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am Brian Lee Durfee, author of The Forgetting Moon and The Blackest Heart, both books published by Simon & Schuster's Saga Press. Today I'm going to be reviewing Louis L'Amour Catlo, one of the Louis L'Amour Westerns. You know, if you followed my channel, I love Westerns. I've got every single Louis L'Amour novel in my collection. And I'm going to drop a review on this channel for every single one of them. Let's go over here and look at the collection real quick. Let's pan around the library and then we'll focus right there. That's my entire Louis L'Amour collection right there. We've got the Sackett novels over here. And then behind that we've got every Louis L'Amour book. Anyway, just thought I'd show you that. I've been collecting these things since I was a kid. In fact, I read every single one of them when I was a teenager, and now I'm rereading them for this channel. Catlo came out in 1963. We always discuss the covers first because I love graphic design and cover illustration. I absolutely adore this cover painting. Now, I don't know who did the painting. I will usually try to research who did the illustration. I just couldn't find it. It's not mentioned anywhere inside the book or on the book. So we just have to call it one super awesome painting by Mr. Nameless Artist. It's just got a great, great painting of these three Spanish bandits on the run. Great stuff. What is Catlo? Catlo, he's not Spanish, he's Irish. In fact, he's a big fucking Irish guy who kind of has always been on the wrong side of the law. His childhood friend is named Cowan. And Cowan, now Catlo and Cowan, childhood friends. Catlo grows up to always be on the wrong side of the law. Cowan grows up to be a U.S. Marshal. And that's where things come to a head. Because Cowan is given the job, he's got to chase down his friend Catlo. Catlo has got himself into some trouble as a murderer and a cattle thief. Whether he's innocent or not, we will have to decide. But his best friend, the U.S. Marshal, has to chase him down. So I'll read the back here because it gives a pretty good description of what's going on. Ben Cowan and Biha Catlo had been friends since childhood. By the time they grew to manhood, Catlo had become a top cowhand with a wild streak. It took just one disastrous confrontation with a band of greedy ranchers to make him an outlaw. And when he crossed that line, it was up to U.S. Marshal Ben Cowan to bring him in alive. If only Catlaw would give him a chance. So yeah, it's a good Western. It's a good Western about best friends that have to do this cat and mouse chase all across the U.S. And it just seems like every time that the U.S. Marshal almost catches up to them, he narrowly escapes. Sometimes he does catch up to him, and then he's faced with the dilemma, do I turn my best friend in or let him go? Blah, blah, blah. There's a few historical figures in this, like Wild Bill Hickok. Louis L'Amour, usually not the type of guy that put in real historical figures into his novels, although he does put in a lot of real historical places, which I like quite a bit, unlike Zane Grey, who sort of makes up a lot of his landscape out of bits and pieces of the West. Louis L'Amour actually plants his characters in real towns that exist and existed at the time, which is the case here. He also happened to add a few historical figures like Wild Bill Hickok. Kind of rare for Louis L'Amour. Anyway, this is just a good, short little Western of these two friends that are in conflict with each other, and they really, really, really don't want to be in conflict with each other. And in each instance that they kind of catch up to each other and meet up in this chase, this cat and mouse chase across the Wild West, each time it's up to either one of them to sort of give a little or not give a little, and I'm not going to tell you how each one of their meetings ends, but they're very fascinating, and I'm not going to tell you how the final showdown goes down, because you're going to want to read this book to find out for yourself. It's only about 152 pages to be exact. Really good. You can read this in like an hour or two, get a really great Louis L'Amour Western, and as all the Louis L'Amour Westerns are, it's written spectacularly. I actually really liked this one. I'm going to give this one an 8 out of 10. I only wish it could have been longer.